My name is Joe Reichert. I'd like to welcome you to another episode of The Sound Doctor. Today we're going to be, at a minimum, removing the radiator and AC condenser from my Mercedes so I can then drill and tap the block. I tried another process called electrolysis. And it didn't work very well. So, I thought it was worth a try. I saw another YouTube channel did it, and it worked really well for head studs in a Ford, so I figured, well, head studs in a Ford, thermostat bolts in a Mercedes W63, what's the difference? Aluminum, steel. Anyways, let's get to draining some coolant and getting that radiator and that condenser out of there so I can see how much room I really have to drill and tap this out. After I get that done, I can figure out what parts I need to order. I know I'm going to need transmission cooler lines because they're just trashed, and they have been since I got it. They've been leaky, and a bunch of other stuff. So stay tuned. So I know I've got the coolant drained somewhat, but I want to drain the rest of it. If you look down, let's see if I can get my finger here. Right here, that's where the petcock or the drain plug is for the W163. So I'm going to unscrew that and we'll see how much coolant comes out. Oh, yeah, that's not focusing at all down there. So let's get this going. Okay, that's not working out so well. I saw a couple of guys that were able to like just fit their hand in there, but I don't even have that big of a hand, and I can't fit my hand in there, so I think I'm just gonna pull that lower radiator hose and let it drain that way. It'll be fine. It'll do the exact same thing. Okay, so now that I have drained the coolant in an extremely organized fashion, I'm going to remove the radiator pack, hopefully as one. I think I can do that because I think I can take it, tilt it back if I have to disconnect a few things, and then pull the whole thing out the top. It seems like there's more than enough room for that, so let's see if I can get that done. Okay, so to remove the radiator pack, we start off by removing these two trim pieces on either side. Next, we're going to remove the headlights. Now in my headlight, I'm going to make two comments. I broke a bolt, which seems to be par for the course. If it was this one, I'm going to try and do something with this. Definitely need a hold down there. The other thing I noticed was, I believe this is for the auto level motor, and it was disconnected. Now I know that the auto level sensors were disconnected on this one too. I'm going to guess there's an issue with the system, so when I put it back together, I'm going to leave it disconnected. That's two down. So, another time where the auto level is disconnected. However, why is it that I always find stuff like this on this thing? What a headache. I'll figure that out. Alright, so next up, we're going to remove this entire piece. This has your hood latch, your horns, all of that stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to remove the bolts and I'm going to kind of like put it out of the way, because then I can pull this all out easier.
Alright, at this
point, all we have are the AC lines, which I'm going to disconnect from here. I'm going to disconnect this one from the dryer. Let me get a little light in there. I'm going to disconnect that one from the dryer right there. This one on the front here, so that should be relatively easy, I hope. And the transcooler lines, which honestly, I'm just going to cut them. That'll be the best way. So here goes nothing. Also, one thing I've never done in this is I've never checked to see if it actually had pressure in the AC system. So, nope, that's not going to fit. Let me actually grab the gauge in. All right. Zero pressure. We're good to go. I was wondering where the power steering cooler lines were, and they're really hard to see, but one of them's right here. One of them's down there. So after I get those two out and this radiator out, I'll let you all know kind of what I did when I was off script a bit there. So I did things a little bit differently than I thought I would. First off, I found that there's the two power steering cooler lines, which those were both screwed on. You also have to remember that there is a reservoir line that I tried to get off and I broke. So that sucked. On the passenger side, you have to remove the nuts and the plug for the fan. There's also a hang on. There's also a T8 Torx that holds a cover down. I broke the cover because I didn't see the T8 Torx. So you have those as well. The one thing I changed right off the bat, I looked at the lines, I figured, you know something, I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to see if I can break them loose. The bottom line was a 16 and I used a 16 mil flare wrench. And the top was a 17 or an 18. I don't remember which one off the top of my head. So it was one of those two. So it's all apart. Now I can make my list of things to order. I need to figure out whether I'm going to order a radiator or not. The radiator that was in there was from 99. It seemed to be working sufficiently. However, I broke the hose barb off when I went to loosen it up because it's just never been taken apart. So I've said whether I'm going to try and like JB weld or something, and I'm not a fan of JB weld, but that's not a high pressure line. At least I don't think. You know what? That actually probably is a high pressure line, so probably end up replacing the radiator. Luckily, it's not that expensive. It's about $150 more. I'm going to do that. A I'm going to do that, a trans cooler, new transmission lines that I'm going to make myself. When I do all that, I'm going to do the conductor plate in the transmission so I can reseal it and refill the trans. There's a handful of other maintenance items I'm going to do while I have it torn down this far, but now it's all torn apart. I can get working on it. I'm going to start ordering parts, and the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get the right tap and drill bit set. So the next video, I should have at least most of the parts, the drill bit, tap, and that's probably everything that I'll need is the parts and that stuff. So hopefully the next video I can get that thermostat back in. I'm going to change the power steering reservoir because that's leaking. I'm going to put the oil cooler back on, and then hopefully get the radiator and everything back in. So thanks for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this, like, share, and subscribe, and Saban, folks.